your daughter tried to beat you to death with a bat and threw you in a river. She said, yeah. She said she was part of the coven. She was trying to get my power. I says, does she happen to be a vampire? She said, yeah. How do you know that? I said, got tossed in a cage with her in juvenile hall. And I thought, wow, only God can set up a story like that. It was unbelievable.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, man, the story is crazy, right? So now he's in this battle. So now she's like, well, now since he knows, it's really gonna get real. And he said, and somebody was like, well, how would he know? It's like, because the demons, they operate, they operate in the spiritual realm, so everything is instantaneous. It's like a network, like a hive. So once one spirit, because the spirits are all around, they hear everything, right, and they're reporting back, and they relay information, right, And so, and sure enough, it's on.
Keep an eye out on your 6. Where there's one, there's more.
There was a guy that worked for the government that was able to do this. You might have heard of him before.
Who was that?
Goes by the name of Anton LaVey.
Yeah,
you ever heard of him?
Yeah, man. That's like one of the most famous, I would say not famous, but infamous people that ever live,
Yeah, he was the founder of the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
Do you know what his last words were? You heard the story?
If I'm recalling correctly, it was something along the lines that I was wrong or I made a mistake or something.
Hold on, something's not right.
Something,
it's not supposed to be like this, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a preacher man that says, nah, that's not quite right. He talks about, and the shorts are on the channel. You guys want to hear the story in more greater detail, the shorts are on the channel. Actually, I think I need to link. I'm going to go back in the description of the shorts. I'm going to put the link to the actual video where I got it from so you guys can see the full testimony. But he claims that I really want to tell this whole long story, but you got to go back and watch the show. But he claims that Anton LaVey died trying to kill his daughter. His daughter he had raised his daughter to be the bride of Satan in some ceremony. And I think they had to do for 7 Halloweens straight. They had to do these different rituals to build up to this bride of Satan ritual they were going to do. And she had participated in 6 of them where they were sacrificing people, babies. He claims that she told him that when she was 5, I think, that she had to cut out the beating heart of her baby sister. Like he held her hand, and while she cut out the heart of her baby sister to sacrifice. And so anyway, she escaped. He said, man, it's crazy, man. Like the testimony is crazy, right? So he had got into the ministry,
new info.
And what got him into the ministry is because, I don't know what got him, but he got to the point where he had went to a seminary school, whatever. And he was kind of at this place. His daddy was a preacher, and he was at this place where he couldn't understand why the miracles that's written of in the New Testament, we weren't experiencing those miracles. How come, his dad been preaching all these years, but you've never cast out demons. You've never healed the sick. You've never, done all these things that the apostles did, that the Most High said, and then Christ said he would give the apostles power to do through the Holy Spirit. Why are we not experiencing it? Why are we not able to do these things that they did in the New Testament? And so, a lot of people have these things about dispensation, and that was for a certain time, blah, blah. I don't see that in the New Testament. That was for a certain time. I think the reason why we don't see that or experience that personally or see that is because we're not where we need to be spiritually. We're not walking holy. We're not practicing a holy life, right? The Most High requires 100%, and we're not giving 100%. We're tainted. We're, whatever the case is. And so, the Holy Spirit can't dwell in an unclean temple. And if we hold on to any piece of the world, then how can the Most High send his Holy Spirit to dwell in us, right? So anyway, he was in his pursuit, and eventually, after some time, the Most High started, building him up in this regard, and eventually he started hearing from the Holy Spirit. He was being different people were coming to him for spiritual help and things of that nature, and so at one point he's sent to this juvenile detention place, and he goes there, and there's this girl, and she's like they got like a special made cell for her, but it's like in in the front of this facility when you walk in. Like she's not back there in the cells because apparently she had been attacking people. And the girl's maybe 14, 15, something like that, I think maybe. And so he was like, he was going there, I think, to find people to help. So he was directed to go to this girl. So he went to the people like, hey, I need to go talk to her. They was like, oh, hey, he wanted to go in the cage, girl. Like, hey, yeah, let him in there. Yeah, they laughed like, yeah, let him in there. Let him get that. So he goes in there, and they just sitting there watching. So he's talking to her, and he asked her why she's in there, or she explains to him why she's in there. And basically, she said she wanted her mother's power. Her mother was a witch, a devil worshiper, whatever. Her mother had a lot of power, and her mom wasn't. And so she wanted her mom's power. So in order to get it, she would have to kill her mom. And basically, she beat her mom with this bat and tried to kill her and threw her in the river, but she lived. And so
like a witch.
Yeah. So he's talking to her about that, where he said, then the girl whispers, I need blood. He's like, what? She says, I need blood. And he said, oh, no, I'm not that kind of doctor. Because he's a doctor. He got a doctor in seminary or whatever. He's like, no, I'm not that kind of doctor. I'm not that kind of doctor. She says, well, I'm not anemic. Whatever condition you might need blood. She was like, I'm not that easy. She's like, so he says, why are you telling me? She says, because I'm addicted to it. He's like, what? How you addicted? She says, I'm a vampire. I practice vampirism. Not like grow fangs and turn into a bat. That's all Hollywood stuff. But it's people that actually participate in drinking the blood. People who worship the devils and demons on a high level. They do this. Now, she's the second testimony I've heard of somebody who practiced vampirism, and they say how very addictive blood is. Once you start, it becomes very addictive. And so she had started attacking people. That was those other girls in the back and trying to get blood. And she's not like super strong or nothing like that, but she's addicted to it. And the source is, people. And so, after that, he kind of got like a little freaked out. He was like, all right, hey, y'all let me out. I got to go.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to do what I can for you, but you tripped out. So time goes on, and this woman, he's in church service, so I think at the end of church service or something, but this woman comes in this church. Another woman comes in, and no, before that, he was supposedly a prophet came to him and told him to read this book, gave him this book to read. And it was like he went like a year or 7 years, something, a long time without reading this book. So the prophet kept hitting him up every now and again. Hey, you read the book. So then one day the prophet hit him like, hey, listen, you need to repent because you've been disobedient. The Most High sent this book. He said, I've never read that book, never checked that book out, but it was a book about demonic rituals and stuff like that. And he was like, but the Most High told you to read that book and you ain't read it yet. He said, but you got a week. You got 1 week, because what that book was supposed to prepare you for, the assignment the Most High has for you, it's going to happen, ready or not.
Yeah. So
you got 1 week to read that book. You need to repent, read that book, and be ready. So I think he ended up reading the book, and then I think he said I might get in the story mix, so y'all gonna have to go back and check it out. But this woman comes into his church or comes to his building, whatever, and he said she looked like something, like her face has been put back together. Like she got all kind of screws and metal rods coming through, and everything. And it's like, man, what, are you okay? What happened to you? She said she had been in a very, very terrible car accident and she barely lived, and now she's but she's saying she came to them because she's been attacked by demons and she need help. So it's like, okay, they deal with it, whatever. You get her information and she starts coming to service, I think, or something. And then one day she calls him and she's whispering. She says, hey, I need help. Can you come pick me up? He's like, okay, where are you? She said, I'm outside the courthouse downtown. I'm hiding in the bushes, but hurry up. He's like, well, if you just go in the courthouse, like she's like, no, I can't. You understand? I need help. Like, come get me. So he says, go get her. He pulls up with her. She runs out of the bushes, get in the car. So she tells him that she's running from these very bad people, and they've been attacking her demonically and spiritually and everything. So I'm going to shorten this up because I'm telling y'all the whole story. But anyway, he brings her to his house. Him and his wife talk about it. They let her come in. She moves in with them. She's maybe in her 20s, young woman. I assume she's in her 20s, something like that. And sure enough, he said, like every night at the same time, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a demonic attack. She's like screaming and fighting and everything. And at one point they were down there praying or doing something, and she ran out. And she's fighting and running from this demon, and they started praying. And then she's like, okay, and the demon leaves or whatever. And she's like, man, this is crazy. Did y'all see that? And they was like, no, we didn't see nothing. We just saw you run. She's like, oh, I forgot. Like, y'all can't see. Y'all blind. Because she was into the demonic realm. He was saying a lot of people that's in that realm, their third eyes open. Stuff, yeah. And so they can see in the spiritual realm when the average person can't. So it's like, so they go into this revival or somewhere, and as they're riding, man, they going across like Iowa and somewhere and they going past this Indian reservation. And it's a demon stronghold. And he said as soon as they see like the title, you coming on such land. So he said he going by 120 because he's running late. And he said because she's been having these demonic attacks every 30 minutes or something. They got to pull over and pray and do all this stuff. So he's trying to make up for lost time. And they cross this thing. He said, man, no sooner they crossed that sign, all the doors on the van flew open. Everybody's seatbelt unbuckled. And she like flung out the car. He grabbed her. She's holding on and fighting, and you know what I'm saying, and it ended up being a demon. I'm gonna spare the detail. Ended up being a demon telling her, hey man, you on our territory. I got rights to her. He like, nah, she's a child of God. Now you don't have no rights to her. And so, then he tells her, look, this is it. He said, because you're not telling me something. You're not being honest with me, and cause we keep finding out stuff. So that's when she tells him, okay, I'm actually Anton LaVey's daughter. And I was in this thing, and I ran away, and now they're trying to kill me. And so he's like, well, she said, when you found me, she said, actually what happened, I wasn't in a car accident. My daughter beat me with a bat and tried to kill me, threw me in the river.
So he met Anton LaVey's granddaughter
before he
tried to kill her mom.
Yes, and he didn't even know. Yeah, but this is how the Most High was putting everything together, preparing them for this situation, right?
Right. So anyway, we left for this trip. We all packed up in a van. We're going down the highway, and every 50 miles we were pulling over off the highway and trying to fight with these demons, right? And so I was getting increasingly frustrated, and I had told my wife, I said, Cheryl, I love her, but we cannot help her if she's not honest with us, and I know she's lying about some of this stuff. And she was still saying, oh, I dabbled with witchcraft. It's like, no, we're way past dabbling. So anyway, we still didn't know who she was, and but I knew whatever she was into, it was high level witchcraft, and I suspected Satanism, but anyway, high level. And we were green and just learning at the time and asking God for mercy. But we left on this trip, and we're exhausted, and every time we pull over, we're getting further behind. And we had just headed into Nevada, and I told everybody in the car, remember, it's a van full of people, right? It's our three boys and Dwayne and Juanita. And I told everybody, I said, hey, we are late, and I am the keynote speaker. So Nevada very rarely gives out speeding tickets. So I'm going to punch this thing clear down to the metal and see how fast we can go, because we have to make up time. So hold on to your butts. This is going to be a wild ride. So anyway, I was doing about 120 in this Chevy van. And I saw a sign that said Winnemucca Indian Nation's 10 miles. And when I saw the sign, the Holy Spirit just quickened me like a lightning bolt, like, uh-oh, that ain't good. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm just thinking because it's this Indian spirit that we're fighting, and it probably has nothing to do with this Indian tribe. And anyway, when you're going 120 miles an hour, 10 miles goes by pretty quick. And so anyway, I was looking over, everybody's asleep, and Ramona, she's nearly unconscious, because very difficult to go through these kind of deliverances. She's just there, sound asleep, buckled in. And so I saw this sign, welcome to Winnemucca Indian Nation. And we hit that sign doing 120 miles an hour. We went right past that sign onto the reservation. And when we did, all of the doors on the van opened up and the seatbelt, everybody's seatbelt came loose. And a spirit tried to throw Ramona out on the highway doing 120 miles an hour. And fortunately, she's a little gal and she was just going out, and I grabbed her arm and I'm trying to pull her back in the van, and she's totally under the power of a demon. And I'm trying to stop. The van is swerving. It's big time crazy. Everybody's waking up. The kids are screaming, and I get her pulled in like this, and I'm nearly stopped. And she reached under my seat, and I had a loaded 9mm pistol under my seat. She comes up with that. So I switch hands, and now I'm wrestling with her with the gun in the hand. And we finally got stopped. I got the gun out of her hand. Though I try to stay even keel, I was PO'd. And so.
Wait, Dave, sorry, real quick. I know you were PO'd, but did the doors open by itself and did the seatbelts unbuckle by itself?
All by them. Well, it was demonic. It was supernatural.
Oh, demonic, yeah. But it wasn't anybody in the car doing it.
No people involved. Okay. She was still sound asleep when this thing tried to throw her out the van.
Gosh.
But anyway, by the time I got her in, the spirit had come into her and was manifesting through her. So I got stopped, and I said, "Who the hell are you?" He said, "I'm the power spirit of the Winnemucca Indian Nation." I said, "What are you doing in Ramona?" He said, "Oh, you're so stupid." He said, you mortals, you don't know anything." And I said, "Okay, well, help me. What's going on?" He said, "She's marked with the blood of a virgin sacrifice, which gives me the right to kill her." And I said, "You could look at her and tell she's marked with the blood of a virgin sacrifice?" He said, "Oh, you mortals are so blind." He said, I've been watching you coming for many, many, many miles.
I was looking for a program that could enhance my strategic.
And I said, "Okay, so you tried to kill her." He said, "I have a right to kill her." I said, "But my point is, you tried and it didn't work." He said, "Oh, I can kill her." And I said, you tried. It didn't work. You tried to kill her. You tried to throw her out. It didn't work. So I said, "I am late for an appointment. I don't know anything about the Winnemucca Indian Nation. And I have no idea what you're talking about blood sacrifice. But I do know this. If it weren't for the power of Jesus Christ, you would have just killed her and maybe my whole family." So I said, "If you're the power spirit of this whole Indian nation," I said, "looks like to me you wouldn't want to have this kind of encounter, because what you did just now with all of the spirits watching was an epic fail. You tried to kill her and you failed." And he's ranting and raving, "Oh, I can kill her." I said, "No, I don't think you can. I think you tried and you failed." So I said, "Why don't you just leave and I'll take her off your reservation?" And he said, "If you ever bring her back, I'll kill her." I said, "I'm not going to ever bring her back." I said, just leave. You won't have to go through the embarrassment of being defeated in front of all the demons that are watching. And I won't have to rebuke you for the next few hours." And he said, "If you ever bring her back, I'll kill her." I said, I'm not going to bring her back." He said, "I'll go." Suddenly, she came to her senses and said, "What happened?" And I said, "Well, we're going to talk about what happened, but not till we get off this Indian reservation." So I drove 120 miles an hour to the other side of the Indian reservation. And she knew that I didn't tell her anything that had happened, but she knew I was angry. And she said, "Dad, you're angry." I said, "Yep, I'm angry. We'll talk about it when we get off the reservation." We got to the other side. I asked her to get out. She said, "Are you leaving me here?" I said, "I haven't decided yet. But let me tell you, where we're at. We have been fighting demons every night since you moved into our house. From 2:00, oftentimes until daybreak. And you have lied to us over and over and again. She said, I'm not lying. I said, you are lying. Don't tell me ever again that you dabbled in witchcraft. I know that's a lie. You don't get this kind of problems dabbling in witchcraft. Well, I got in a little deeper. I said, okay, listen, I still don't know who you are and what you've been through, but my entire family almost died because you are marked with the blood of a virgin sacrifice. And when I said that, she fell on her knees and just started weeping with her face in her hands and saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I said, okay, I get you're sorry. But here's the thing, Ramona. Truth sets you free. If you keep lying to us, you will never get free. And that's why if you don't tell the truth from this day forward, I am not letting you back in the van and I am not bringing you back to our house. I want to know the truth. And she's just sobbing. And she said, if I do tell you the truth, will you promise that you won't kick me out of your family? And I said, that's fair. She said, no matter how bad it is. I said, I'll promise you this. If you will tell the truth, we will go to hell and back fighting for you, and we will never give up on you. That's when she said, my name is not Ramona Jarnigan. My name is Ray LeVay. And my father is Anton LeVay. And the blood sacrifice was my little sister, Delina Starr. And she said, I didn't want to do it. Anton made me do it. He put my hands on the knife and made me cut the heart out of my little sister. And she was just sobbing and sobbing. And she said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Will God ever forgive me? Can God ever forgive me? And I said, God can forgive anything. You were, how old were you? She said, I was a little girl. And I said, God can forgive you for anything. But what happened to you as a little girl is not your fault. And I said, is there anything else you've been lying about? You ready for this? I don't know if you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
She said, I wasn't in a car accident. And I said, okay, what happened to you? She said, my daughter tried to beat me to death with a bat and threw my body in the river. And God saved me. She said, I saw the angels come and take me out of the river.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Now so you were with her daughter in a cage. That's wild.
Totally wild. I said, your daughter tried to beat you to death with a bat and threw you in a river. She said, yeah. She said she was part of the coven. She was trying to get my power. I says, does she happen to be a vampire? She said, yeah. How do you know that? I said, got tossed in a cage with her in juvenile hall. And I thought, wow, only God can set up a story like that. It was unbelievable.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, man, the story is crazy, right? So now he's in this battle. So now she's like, well, now since he knows, it's really gonna get real. And he said, and somebody was like, well, how would he know? It's like, because the demons, they operate, they operate in the spiritual realm, so everything is instantaneous. It's like a network, like a hive. So once one spirit, because the spirits are all around, they hear everything, right, and they're reporting back, and they relay information, right, And so, and sure enough, it's on. Make a long story short, which you got to go hear the testimony. It's crazy, but the shorts that I have on the channel kind of gets to the end of it, where Anton possesses this girl's body. She calls the police, says that this preacher he's been molesting her and all this stuff. So the police come. And they say, hey, listen, we can't leave her here. She got to go, and she's grown. So, and he's talking through her, and he tells how he knew, because he said Anton would always call him preacher boy. And so when the girl came out, she was shooting a finger and said, yeah, preacher boy, yeah, we got, And so they leave. He says, so he tells his wife, okay, because they were going to take him to jail, but he knew somebody that,
Yeah.
he had favor with the Most High and all this stuff. You got to get the details. So he says they taking him one or two places. They either taking him to this reservation, not the same one, but a different reservation that's closer to where they actually live, or this place they call Hell Motel, or Hotel Hell, Motel Hell, or something like that,
Yeah.
where a lot of people who practice witchcraft and do all kinds of stuff, this is a hotel they would hang out at. So he said he's taking him one of them. So his wife, they went to that when he went to the reservation. He said, now it's time to go Old Testament. He got his gun, and he's going. And so then his wife called, said, yeah, they dropping off at the hotel now, and she's walking in thing, whatever. But he said you could tell she's possessed because her body's moving funny.
Yeah, it's like against her will almost.
Listen, man, he talked about zombies, right? How, that's a side note, how these zombies, what the concept of zombies is somewhat real, right? Because what happened, he said that down, I don't know if it's in DR, somewhere in South America, one of those countries,
Probably Haiti.
They practice it a lot. He said, but basically what happens is they can
possess a deceased corpse.
Yeah,
Yep,
they can go into a body, but they only have a little while because the rigor
time.
mortis starts to set in, so the body's not
Yeah.
moving. That's why, what I'm saying, but they can do it for a little bit.
Right.
And so anyway, but also when they astral project, period, they can only be outside their body for a limited time. According to him, Anton LaVey was really good at it. He can do it for almost like 90 minutes. Most people, they do it maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But also he was saying Anton LaVey was able to function and do all these sacrifices and all this stuff because he worked for the government. So he had some kind of immunity or something where they let him operate how he wanted to operate without, being caught or whatever. And you'd be surprised how many people in the government are involved in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, he said, so he turns around, he goes there. So he had his friend that was worked for the police as a psychiatrist or something. He had him when everything was going on. He was able to go in the back seat and talk to Anton through this girl that he was possessing this girl's body, and he slipped the phone in the pocket. So he says he calls this phone. Anton answers like, "Oh yeah, very clever preacher boy." He said, "But it's too late. Her death is gonna be on your hands. She was my daughter. I prepared her for all this, and you messed it up. So now we can't do the ritual because we're supposed to happen on Halloween. They couldn't do that." He said, "So now we're gonna slit her feet," which I didn't know. He said that's what they do. They slit
your
the feet
and let you bleed out.
Yeah, he said we're gonna slit her feet and drink her blood, and it's gonna be on you. Her, her death is on your hand. And he said so. By this time, he's pulling up to the hotel there. So, they're outside the hotel. And he says, and he's on the phone with Anton. Anton gets to blaspheming Christ and the Most High. And he said, so then I think Anton hung up. He said, the Spirit of the Most High rose up in him and said, cut his silver cord. He said, I didn't even know. He said, I knew about the silver cord from the Bible, but I didn't know you can cut. I don't know nothing. He said,
That's
but
crazy.
They had some brothers. They had a couple brothers and sisters that was prayer warriors that was at the church on standby. And because I think this might have been on Halloween or something, but they actually have to do it at 3:00 in the morning. Like it's like October 30th, and then 3:00 that morning, which is technically 31st, but like 3:00 that morning, they have to do all their stuff. So while people celebrating on Halloween night, 31st night, they've already done all their stuff in the wee hours of that morning.
Yeah, early morning stuff. People doing the after party.
It's the witching hour, what they call the witching hour. So he says the Most High Spirit says, cut his silver cord. So he calls them and say, we're supposed to cut Anton's silver cord. So they started praying, asking the Most High to cut Anton's silver cord. While they praying, the girl runs out the hotel room. By this time, she had changed her name, took his last name, everything. So she says, Dad, and get in the car and run. He says, what happened? She says, Anton bounced. What do you mean, what bounced? Bouncing is a term they use when you can't get back in your body. He tried to get his body and his spirit bounced off, and his silver cord got cut. Yeah, and he said, he said, so we knew he was dead. And then when they got home, like in the wee hours, and when they was praying, they was singing praise and worship and all that, and then she got possessed. Her eyes turned red, slithered like a serpent, and it said, "You killed the Black Pope. You're a murderer. You murdered the Black Pope." And he's like, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Leviathan, his power spirit." And he said, you always see that picture of Anton with that snake. He said that actually was a demon spirit that would transmogrify into that snake and different things. And he said, and so he said, that spirit left, and then another spirit came, and it was one of Anton's other daughters. And she was saying, "You killed our father, blah, blah, blah." And he said, "Look, you saw what we did to him. You see, now we have authority from Jesus to cut the silver cord, so you better go. And said, no, she was gone.
Yeah.
He said, but then by this time now we have supernatural confirmation that Anton is dead. And then sure enough, the next day, a day after, they announced he had died. Some other, he said something else. He said, but we know what really happened. We know he died that night in that hotel room trying to kill his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. So the story behind what they say he died on his deathbed is actually not true.
Yeah, or maybe because she said that when he left out of her body to go back in his body, because he was laying like they laid her on the hotel bed, they had him on the couch in his hotel room.
Yeah.
And so he was coming out of her. So now when he comes out of her, now she can see, but she can see in the spiritual realm too. So she can see his spirit
trying to
going back and he bounced. And she said, and the other people that was there, they saw him bounce too. So they started praying to Satan, asking Satan to help. And and maybe he said no, something would have meant something's not right. Maybe he said it in that setting.
I got you.
Maybe I don't know.
It's not supposed to be like this.
Right, something's wrong, and so they started praying. And so while they were preoccupied trying to get him in his body, she broke out.
Ran out the hotel room. They won't worry about her at that point because
he's a black pope.
Yeah, he the one that's gonna tell us what to do with the situation.
So so that I thought that was interesting. Talk about astral projecting, leaving the body and stuff like that. Man, that testimony is crazy.
Yeah, I need the whole story because,
bro, listen,
it's people that still, it's people that do that stuff, but they don't know the people that like started the movements that like kind of made this stuff popular and made it something that's the cool thing to do.
Yeah, this
people
is
think
right
it's
here.
cool.
This is it right here.
Yeah.
So I think, as a matter of fact, I'm positive. Let me confirm this though, but I'm almost positive that it is in the. If you go to our YouTube page, let me put it up. If you go to our YouTube page and you go to, we have a section called "Spit Out the Bone."
Yeah.
All right, and so it's like like videos that we watch or whatever.
Yeah.
Go to our videos. Go to the playlist "Spit Out the Bones," and you should see that and many other very interesting, compelling stories like that. So let me go to video. Oh no, playlist. Playlist. If you go to the playlist,
but really happened, is that it? Or that's the
well, yeah. Oh, those are the shorts, right?
Yeah.
But where's the Spit Out the Bones? It'll be the last one on the playlist. It says play all. It's a bunch of videos on there. Spit Out the Bones. Nope, that's the. I don't want to start playing. I just want to see the whole list right quick. But yeah, in there I have the most of the link, most of the stuff I make shorts to and stuff like that is in there. So a lot of interesting things in there. Beautiful list. So a lot of good discussion pieces. Is it in there? If it's not in there, it's gonna be in there. But
you can probably hit the search, whatever like that.
Where
on the side
here?
No, not them. Man, there usually is a search thing on the side where you can search the playlist.
Yeah.
Probably at the top. You scroll up, sort.
It should be in there, man. Yeah. Let me see.
But as you look for
there it is right there. Yeah. So it's in there. If you switch
check that out.
If you sort it out, go to the newest added.
Yeah.
Date added, whatever, and you'll see it in there, man. And the whole thing is in. It's called Vampire Zombies and the Church of Satan Takedown.
Yeah. Top
secrets revealed. So it's very interesting, man. It's very interesting.
That silver cord is also mentioned in Psalm, I believe, one of the Psalms, because like people have this notion that the Bible isn't it's speaking in parables or allegory, but there are a lot of portions of the Psalm and other places that you might think are allegory but are actually real.
Well,
and when you said that the silver cord thing, I remember one of the brothers we both know, which is from Haiti, and we used to talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and he would say, in Haiti they used to do this, and this, and this, and then one day we would talk about astral projecting, and he was talk about how like based on the stuff that he knew growing up living in Haiti, that people would tell you there's a literal silver cord on a person's spirit when they leave the body, and if they go too far, it can snap, or if they're out of their body too long, it can snap, and then that's it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Or I've heard also the demons, if they have a legitimate right or some kind of authority,
They
based
can
on
snap
what
it.
you can give them some type of authority unknowingly, and they can cut your silver cord.
And you leave your body. That's why some people they die doing astral projecting.
Yeah.
And some people when they meditate, similar
Yeah.
situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Things happen like that.
Yoga and all that.
But that story is interesting, man, because today they've taken the principles of Satanism and they've turned it into this this movement of spiritualism. So now you got people doing the same stuff, but it's a different sect of beliefs, a different set of beliefs in a way. Not a different set of beliefs, but it's a different system, same principles and tenets, but they put it under another name and made it cool for people. So people today say, oh yeah, you can't astral project. Oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. It's witchcraft and it's Satanism at its core, but we've taken those things and kind of made them into things that we deem as like spiritual, Yeah, there is spirituality in it, but what kind of spirituality? You get what I'm saying? And too many people, I would say this, too many people have gone down this road and like taking other people's advice about getting into this stuff, and then they've left their body and didn't come back. There are a lot of people that left their body and did not come back. And now you heard a story about they didn't wake up in their sleep or something like that, or they overdose, because you got to think about it. What is autopsy going to show for a person that
Their spirit just left their body.
that left their body and then didn't come back? You get what I'm saying? There's nothing they can put on the autopsy report. There's no suffocation. There's nothing. You left your body willingly, but you didn't come back.